Hey, everyone, if you love combat sports such as Kyokushin karate, MMA, boxing, you name it, and 20% everything else in martial arts, anime, other sports, and the impact of martial arts in pop culture, make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and comment on all the episodes of the Drewsperience, available on all audio platforms. My guest today is a big one, so I got to put my Bruce Buffer voice on. Weighing in at 70 kilos, fighting out of ONE FC. He is the one, the only Pieter, the Archangel Buist. Welcome to the Drewsperience, Pieter.
Buist, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a huge honor, especially when you said yes, because anytime a pro fighter comes on, I have to make sure I step my game up. That's the plan.
Yeah, true. So mesmerize me.
Perfect. So, Pieter, I always like to start the question off with who the practitioner was, or the pro fighter was, before they became a pro fighter. So who is Pieter, the Archangel, before becoming a pro fighter?
I was a busy kid, always doing sports. Loved fighting because I watched Bruce Lee a lot and Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know the drill, and Dragon Ball Z, of course. So from a young age, I started with judo at 6 years. Mm-hmm. Then when I was 12, I started with kickboxing. Mm-hmm. And then at 22, 23, I made the shift to MMA. And so now I'm a full-time pro fighter.
Awesome. So in that period, because obviously those are all those influences. Yep. That's the same. That's what we always hear, but I still love hearing it because sometimes there could be a different response. You said Jean-Claude Van Damme. What were the Jean-Claude Van Damme film or films? So there could be more than one that made you really want to stick with martial arts.
Bloodsport, Kickboxer. Oh, those movies were legendary, man. Bloodsport and Kickboxer. Those were amazing times. Now when I watch it back, I'm like, I can kick ass. I can beat Tompo's ass easy.
That was before mixed martial arts came in. That was like during when everyone only had one style. And then with Dragon Ball Z, there's so many sagas. There's the Saiyan saga, there's the Namek saga, the Frieza saga, the Cell saga, the Android Cell, and then Bruce. So which saga was it for you that really took your interest to a new level?
I think the Saiyan saga started with me with the Saiyan saga, because Dragon Ball, I never watched it. I heard of it, but then on Cartoon Network came Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, huh, what the hell is that? And then I watched, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? And then every Friday was a new episode. Every Friday, everybody in the neighborhood watched it, and then after the episode, everybody went outside and tried to kick each other's ass.
It was like that with Power Rangers too. Like everyone,
let me tell you a story. One time we were playing Power Rangers, and a friend of us, all the colors were occupied. I wasn't the Black Ranger. I think I was the green. I think of the red, and I was the Red Ranger. But everybody had their own color, except the yellow or the
pink.
So my nephew went to America at that time, and he told us there will be a white ranger. So the person wanted to join our gang. And we said, yeah, there will be a white ranger in a couple of months. So if you want to join us, you have to jump off a garage building, because we all jumped off it and make a roll. So he jumped off and broke his arm. But we were harsh, man. We were like, yeah, hey, Power Rangers don't break arms, man. So sorry, you can be a Power Ranger.
That sounds like you guys were doing a mix of Power Rangers and Jackass, like at the same time.
Yeah, but Power Rangers always jump off the building. So, hey, if you want to be a Power Ranger, jump off the building.
That is very true, man. That icon, the green, isn't it crazy? Like how, like when you think of Power Rangers, every single person of our era, because like I think if you're born from the late 1980s to the early 90s, like I'd say if you're born from 1987 to roughly, I'd say 1992, maybe 93, it's always the White Ranger or the Green Ranger that stands out to everybody.
Yeah, of course. Tommy was awesome, man. he had the flute, and then the dragon sword came. Everybody was like, "What?" Because he only came when shit hits the fan. You know, when the rest of the Rangers could handle it, there comes the Green Ranger. He joins the team and fuck everybody up.
And there's also the fact that he was like the anti-hero as well, which I think that really resonated because like it's fun to be a fan of the good guy, but then I think what drew people to Tommy was he's a complex character because he is good, but he's also done bad. And I think that says a lot about the human psyche of that. No one's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. That was a true mirror for reality, because normally it was always you have the good guys and the bad guys. Good guys win. Point. That was also the thing that attracted me to Dragon Ball Z when the Saiyan Saga. It was the first time in my life that I saw the hero die because Goku died, and I was like, huh? What is this series now ended already? Because Goku died, but then there came more episodes, and then I was like, okay. So in Dragon Ball Z, everybody could die, you know.
That's true. So were you a fan of Goku or Vegeta? Because that's the great divide.
It's difficult, man. Sometimes I lean more to Goku. Most of the times I lean more to Goku, but sometimes Vegeta is awesome, man. Especially with his new form. Because I read the manga, so he has a new form. So that form is too brutal, man.
Oh man, yeah, he's like Vegeta's like that. He is the definition of the anti-hero, and also Future Trunks. Like, can we agree when Future Trunks came in 2000? How crazy was it when he turns into a Super Saiyan?
Epic. It was the most epic entrance ever, man. I was like, what? And a friend of mine had the same hairdo. He's like, I'm motherfucking Trunks. We're like, Trunks a bitch. But inside we're like, man, he is so awesome.
I liked him with the sword, and then like there was the Cell Saga. I think he took more of a back seat, but those were that era was just insane. Like that's from when I believe anime like had its high point in the early 2000s. Yeah, like, it really took a new level. Then it kind of like went down, and then it came right back up. I'd say in 2010. I'd say when it really
with Bleach, One Piece, those kind of things. That anime nowadays everybody watch anime. Everybody.
I have to get Funimation, the streaming app, to watch some of my series I missed out on, and so it's I got a long way to catch up to all my fellow otaku fans.
That's a shame of anime. If you miss it, they drop like Naruto. I started late. Now they have 500-600 episodes. So I was like, oh man, should I have to watch them all over again and again and again? But hey, it's awesome.
So it really is. It really, really is. So, so in your 20s, this is when you said you discover MMA. And when did you realize that you could take this professional?
I discovered anime, to be honest, in the beginning of my fighting career. But when I started with kickboxing, my trainer said you really need to learn the stand-up first, because your fights always begin stand-up. So I did a lot of kickboxing fights in Holland and all around the world. So, but after I had more than 110 kickboxing fights.
Whoa.
So for me, it was, eventually I always watched K1, but K1 also had Dynamite and Pride. He had Pride. And I always saw Genki Sudo. So for the people who don't know him, he's the legend of the sport. And he got me hooked, man. He got the whole package. He got the entrance, the entertainment. His fighting style was awesome. He was winning. So for me, Genki Sudo was the reason. And Wanderlei Silva, those kind of fighters also, of course. But when I was kickboxing, K1 went bankrupt. So a lot of Dutch kickboxers were like, yeah, what to do now? But everybody was afraid to make the switch to MMA. And then I was like, no, I didn't want to do kickboxing in the beginning. I wanted to start immediately with MMA. But then that was for me the cue that I was like, okay, it's time for me to do what I really love to do. And then I started MMA.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And so what was the environment for Dutch martial arts like? Because Holland is a very kickboxing,
Yeah.
striking with some judo heavy community. But what was
Hmm.
the environment like? Was MMA always accepted, or did it take time for people to really grasp it?
No, MMA is now a couple of years MMA started making popularity because in the beginning everybody was calling it free fighting. So if people talked about MMA, they talked about no rules, those kind of things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So MMA is now getting popular because of Conor and those kind of, and UFC, of course. And kickboxing was in Holland was the biggest thing because we all the Dutch were kicking ass. Pieter and those Wayne Biaski, Sam Skill, and especially my city because a couple of minutes of my house where I live, there was Golden Glory and all the biggest names of the world: Alistair Overeem, Sam Schild, Errol Zimmerman, Gökhan Saki, more Ruslan Karev, Stefan Leko, all those names trained in my city. So in my city, it was normal to do kickboxing.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So having those greats must have really made it easy just to pick it up, and then everyone's doing it. So it must have been a trickle down effect where they do it, they succeed, and then everyone else that does it gets a liking for it because of what they've done in your city, basically.
Yeah, of course. And the level was very high, man. Very high. When I was a C class fighter, because in Holland you have N class, C class, B class, and A class. And A class is the highest, and C class will kick ass. Would kick an American A class ass easy. Because sometimes Americans came to our gym where I train, and yeah, it was an easy job, man. Because in Holland we have every weekend we have 3 or 4 kickboxing events. So I literally fought every week. Every week I fought. So in Holland it's normal to have, if you see all the big fighters in Holland, they have around 90 or 100 fights easy.
That's amazing. Now, this is something I want to ask. Let's take it away from fighting for a second. You said Americans were coming. Now, this is what I want to ask. A lot of Dutch that I've spoken with, they speak fluent English. Is that because of the Dutch education system where they want the Dutch people to be cultured and they want them to eventually, like, go overseas so they can help export like Dutch philosophy in terms of business and life, maybe? Do you think that is why a lot of Dutch speak fluent English?
Yeah, it's an educational system, of course, that we speak English. And Holland is a country that does a lot of business with a lot of countries. So speaking English is a normal thing here. And we have a lot of different countries in our land. So if somebody comes here, it's normal to speak with somebody who can speak Dutch in the beginning to speak English. So 9 out of 10 people, especially the new generation, they all speak English.
Amazing. And I know you guys love Canada because apparently the Netherlands and Canada have like are like this. So when I spoke with Joey Birkenbosch and Bert, they were telling me if you wear like a Canada sweater or hat, they're gonna the Dutch people are gonna take you in. They love Canadians.
Yeah, because Canadians are laid back, they don't want problems. They have the same philosophy as Holland. Just act normal is crazy enough, just leave me alone, I leave you alone, do your thing, yeah. They will say, hey neighbor, and that's it. They don't want to get a fuss about something or get noisy or those kind of things. Those people are the same as Canadians, but Canadians are much bigger than Holland. So
yeah, we have a massive country. We could fit half of America if we wanted to, but we don't want them because then everything's gonna become way more expensive. So let's see, we're gonna keep it at 36 million. And it's like, imagine everyone just comes to Holland and then it's like what the fuck? It's like it's overcrowded now. Like
in Holland it's now 18 million people, and
wow.
It's on the world map is like this. Canada is like this, and with 35 million, and we have 18 million people, and it's like this.
That's insane. That's nuts. So now to take it back to fighting. So, you know, K1 goes bankrupt, you know, everything's going like it's a turbulent period. So so in this period, when did you decide to make the switch? When did you recognize the opportunity to switch to MMA? And what was the experience of your first professional fight when you finally made the switch?
It was quite easy because I have a judo background, and the level of MMA wasn't that high. But because I was an A-class fighter with a lot of fighting experience, I couldn't do an amateur fight. So I immediately had to start against a pro MMA fighter. So I had a rough beginning. I won most of my fights, but still it was tough. But because for me, I always saw MMA as a different kind of sport. Some kickboxers say, yeah, it's just kickboxing with ground and pound, but it's a different kind of. It's completely different. It's like saying if you play soccer, you can play basketball. It's not the same. It's a ball, but it's a real different kind of sport, and I realized that from the beginning. So I had my trainer that I still have. He's my pet's trainer now, Pieter. He was a pancreas fighter. So he took me in, and he teaches me everything from how to stand and kickbox in the MMA to how the ground game, and then I slowly become better and fought a lot of fights. So the transition wasn't that hard, but no, it's a different kind of sport. So especially in the beginning when everybody called me crazy, man. My kickboxing trainer at that time said, Pieter's going to get killed. MMA is a rough sport. And I was like, no, man, I will be the best. I will be the best. And then when I became a European champ for the first time, he was like, hey, Pieter, let's train together. And I was like, fuck you.
I remember when you doubted me. And who were your influence, if you had any influences? Because for me, when people ask me, well, who were your influences in martial arts? It's not in any particular order. For me, it was John Jones, Gegard Mousasi, Stephen Thompson, Robbie Lawler, and Connor. Obviously, those are like my five. Like, because I used to play ice hockey, so that was my sport. But for you, when you were making the switch, were there any influences for you?
Yeah, I grew up with John Jones, especially Genki Sudo, of course, Bas Rutte, Overeem, Sam Schild, Wanderlei Silva, those kind of fighters. Shogun Ruha with sucker kicks at Pride, man, was vicious. Mark Hunt, those kind of fights. I looked up a lot. I had the privilege to look to a lot of great fighters, who are now legends. At the time, they were becoming, like Melvin Manhoef and those kind of fighters. So but especially Genki Sudo was for me. Wow, he was the man.
Man, and especially that early era of the UFC when there was Pride, there was UFC, and then there was the other promotions. Everyone is a fan of the UFC now, but do you think as a pro fighter, do you think it's important for people to look back at those to understand how those guys built the sport up to what it is?
Man. People don't understand that if I say Genki Sudo, watch his entrance. When I say Pride, watch the events, 100,000 people in the Tokyo Dome. Those days were, when Quinton Rampage Jackson was young and hungry and always had a beef with Wanderlei Silva. Those days were vicious, man. There were almost no rules. He had a fight with Sakuraba against Gracie. They were fighting for 1.5 hours because they agreed to make no time limit. Somebody had to tap or quit or get KO. Those kind of things. Genki Sudo fighting Butterbean. So Genki Sudo is 70 kilos. Butterbean is 160 kilos. It's man. Those days were epic, man. The entrance were different. the atmosphere was different. Japan was legendary at the time because Japan was the mecca of fighting at that time. Now it's America, but at the time, Japan.
So true. And also there was that one time they did a crossover promotion, the UFC with Pride, where they sent Chuck Liddell over. And not many people talk about that. It's one of those things. It's like, we don't really talk about it because I think the UFC then Zuffa and UFC wanted to save face because Chuck beat over him, but then lost to Rampage. So it kind of like gave Japan that one up to say, hey, we could actually beat the UFC. So who are they?
At that time, Pride was better, man.
Sure.
They had everything. They had Fedor Emelianenko. They had the Nogueira brothers. They had Shogun. They had Wanderlei. They had Rampage. They had every big fighter went there. Lyoto Machida fought there. BJ Penn went over there because they paid better than UFC at that time. So people underestimate Pride. When UFC became bigger and they bought Pride, everybody knew, okay, UFC will squeeze all the fighters out and let them rot to death. It was a shame, man, because Pride was how do you say it? Was legendary.
It really was.
Nothing was like that. I know a couple of fighters who fought there. They say the same. Peter, they fought all over the world, but Tokyo Dome, 100,000 people, and everybody was screaming, and it was epic, man.
I think the big mistake Pride made was when they decided to come to America in 2006. Yeah. That was the big mistake because I think that's when I think they got too high on their ego to say, hey, we could compete with the UFC in America, because if we go into America, then that's going to get fighters to come to us. But then it didn't work out because the UFC was like, hey, we're a monopoly, so you coming on our turf. We're gonna have some fun now. And
then out of the blue, there was a news report that the Yakuza was behind the Pride. So then UFC made use of that. Of course, smart move. And UFC bought every big company except for Bellator, and they beat them to death. And that's why UFC is now the biggest. They did it smart. They played it smart. They never went to territory that wasn't there, and Pride made that mistake, to be honest. Why would you go to America if you can fill stadiums every weekend in Japan? I never understood that, but
it's true. It's true. And then there was also Strike Force. The one thing I liked about Strike Force was that even though it was purchased by the UFC, Scott Coker, who's the current president of Bellator, did an amazing job of getting the M1 global fighters to come to the US, such as he's the one that, like, a lot of people don't realize, but Gegard Mousasi was part of M1 when he was fighting in Japan in that period where he was just like beating like Dennis Kang, Melvin, Jacare Souza, Mark Hunt too. After he beat Mark Hunt, there was like Heyman Sports Armenia was doing like they took off the documentary of the Mousasi story, and they need to put it back up because it's one of the best content pieces ever, where there was like speculation that not many people know this, but Heyman Sports said that there was Dana White had been trying to get Gegard for a very long time, but every time the money didn't match, and I don't blame Gegard. Like, he's in Japan racking up wins and money, and that's the thing. And there was a rumor. I mean, it's alleged. So I'm being careful with my words here, that in that period that there was thought that the UFC wanted to put Anderson against Gegard because those were the two best middleweights in the world at the time.
True. I heard that too. At the time, it was a rumor on the internet, but it was a shame that it never happened. It would be an awesome fight. I would love to see that.
Same here. That would have been I think it would have been one of the best technical fights we've seen, not for the grappling, but for the striking. And Gegard is like you in a sense, kickboxing background with judo. It's insane how good they go together, kickboxing and judo. Why do you think that is?
Because judo is a strong based standing position, and a kickboxer is a light feeded position. So if you are purely kickboxing, you're easy to take down, and because of the judo background, you're used to get thrown to the ground, but immediately try to stand up. So the base, you see, you can see where a kickboxer who has a kickboxing background, he was standing longer, but a judo kickboxer is standing lower, what perfectly is for stopping takedowns. So I think that's one of the things.
So I have true. So I have a background in Kyokushin karate. It's basically a K1 striking background. And then eventually when I get my black belt, I do want to take grappling. So if someone came to me like myself and I said, Pieter, I'm done. I've got my black belt in striking, so I know what it takes to be a black belt. Do you recommend judo for adults or BJJ? Because judo can be very rough.
BJJ all day. BJJ is the complete version of everything that's related of the ground. Wrestling is perfectly for takedowns and those kind of stuff. But with wrestling, you never learn how to submit or those kind of things. More pinning. With BJJ, you learn to pin, takedown, sprawl, all those kind of things. So of course, wrestlers have an advantage in some kind of things, but if you look to the overall package, I would say BJJ all day. BJJ has helped me a lot. I train it 3-4 times a week for my arsenal. So I would say BJJ. I love judo, but BJJ.
Because and I think with so I understand too, because what I understand what you just said is judo can be very hard on the body, especially as you get older, when you have to learn how to fall, and those falls can really impact.
But sometimes Olympic judo guys train with us. I don't see the difficulty in it, so I would say BJJ all day. If you want to be a perfect MMA fighter, you have to watch your diet, of course. Train Dutch kickboxing, BJJ, wrestling, and strength and conditioning.
Wow. So no to Muay Thai. That's interesting. So, well, Muay Thai works, but I think it seems like Dutch kickboxing.
Dutch kickboxing is the complete package. It's the same as you have Japanese BJJ, of Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and you have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is the oldest one and the traditional one. But BJJ is, like what Bruce Lee did. They took all the flaws out and improve, and still is improving. Same as Dutch kickboxing. You had Muay Thai, because all the Dutch fighters, when I was doing my first kickboxing fight, you had the Thai music, 5 rounds of 5 minutes, and traditional stance. But now with K1, when K1 came, they tried to take all the clinching out. So the Dutch kickboxing evolved with a lot of low kicks, moving. Every punch needs to be destructive. Every kick needs to be destructive, because with Muay Thai it's more deeps, having fun, sort of. In Muay Thai it's not traditional to kick somebody knockout, and in Dutch kickboxing it's, if you kick somebody out in 20 seconds, it was too slow, because you had to do it in 10. It's hard, rough, and effective. So I would say, if you want to learn in America or Canada Dutch kickboxing, you have to go to what's the trainer of DJ Dillashaw?
Dwayne Ludwig.
Dwayne Ludwig. He understands Dutch kickboxing.
Henry Hooft as well.
Also, those kind of guys. They if you want to learn striking, go there.
They also have a karate background too. So I am a bit biased when I say they have a Kyokushin background. So it does help. Kyokushin and Dutch kickboxing are like this. They go very well together. So
and every problem has a solution. Every solution has a problem. It's the same with fighting styles. Dutch kickboxing isn't the heavy. You have to find your own style, I think. If you look at some fighters who are fighting like karate guys, some are very effective. Look at Michael Van der Page or the karate. I forgot his name.
Wonder Boy.
They are effective, but for some it doesn't work. In the beginning of Conor McGregor, he had the karate style.
Yes.
Stance like pam pam pam. Now he's a Muay Thai based, boxing based style, and you see he has a lot of flaws because he's much slower. Because in MMA you have small gloves, you can't stand still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need
There's a
to
big
move.
difference.
So
There's a big difference for the Conor from 194 to 202 when he fought Diaz the second time.
Big, very big difference. He always screamed that timing beats speed and power beats precision beats power. But now he does the thing that he prophesied that you shouldn't do.
Very, very true. So as you start racking up wins in like the pro scene, because you jump right into MMA, when did you start realizing like, okay, I'm doing great in the Netherlands, it's time to branch out to see where I can go globally?
I think when I became first European champion, because that fighter, when I fought him, he had a lot of fights in M1 and those kind of organizations. So I was like, okay, if I can beat him, I know I can beat foreign fighters. So after that fight, I became European champion. Gave me the belt. It was a true honor. Yeah, I geeked out. He was like, "Whoa, Giga gave me the belt, man!" It was awesome. But then after that, I went to Kunlun, to Russia, to all those kind of organizations.
Oh wow! So you go to Russia. What was that like? You know, I mean, now you think of Russia, it's like, oh my god, it's so dangerous. But let's put geopolitics aside. What was it like to go there? Like, it's a different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah, Russian people are kind, nice people, but they are a little bit closed. You know, Dutch people are like, "Hey, how you doing? Come in." Russian people are welcoming, but you know, everybody's doing their thing. Everything is cold and gray there. You have beautiful parts in Russia, but I prefer warm countries. Let me say it like that. You know,
Makes sense.
And especially if you're a black guy, you go to Russia. All my friends are like, "Hey, Russia, they hate black people. They will fuck you up." Like, no, I don't know, man. But they were kind. It was strange. The organization was okay. They were kind to me, but I prefer America or Asia, to be honest.
So then you go. So now you become European champion. Gegard presents you the belt. And was this when you met your current manager, Nima? How did that happen?
No, Nima. I signed with Nima. I knew Nima from before, but I signed with him last year.
Oh wow!
Before that, I had my manager was the manager of Annie Sauer.
Okay.
And then I fought. I became European champion in the welterweight for the first time. Then I defended that belt. Then I went to lightweight. Then I became European champion in lightweight. And then because of that, I qualified myself for a tournament in WFL. WFL is owned by Melvin Manhoef. And he had a deal with Bellator because Melvin was a fighter at Bellator. So the deal was that if you win the tournament, you will get a contract with Bellator. So I won that tournament and become a world champion in the lightweight division. But then there were some things, and then my former manager told me, yeah, that Annie Sauer just signed with one championship, and if I want to, I can sign also with them. So I went to one championship because it was taking too long with the contract of Bellator. And at that time, I just quit my job to become a full-time fighter, and I needed, to fight. I needed to have an income, and one gave me the chance.
Nice. And what was your job before becoming a full-time fighter, if I may ask?
I was garbage man.
Wow, that's a good job, man. Like, hey, it's a city work and it pays.
It was awesome. I saw it as a training. We every day you collected more than 20,000 kilo of garbage. You walked more than 30 kilometers. So it was like a workout. And I had my own freedom, and they were very supportive. Because when I said, hey, I have to fight. Hey, when you need a day off, take a day off. If you need to leave. If you need some help. And it was awesome, man.
That's
they
amazing.
Helped me a lot.
And that's the key. It's really important that you form those relationships with the management and your colleagues if you have a day job and doing fighting, because then it makes everything much more easier to balance.
Yeah, it was tough, man, because sometimes I trained at 5 o'clock in the morning. I start jogging, then showered, went to my job. But sometimes I did my breakfast, showered, went to the job, and then in my lunch break, they dropped me at the gym at my training session for an hour. Then they pick me up at the gym and then eat my sandwich quick, and in the evening again. So it was a tough thing, but everybody was very supportive around me. But I had to prove myself before they were supporting me, because when somebody comes to you, hey, I want to be the best fighter, and everybody was like, yeah, okay, right, you know. But then when you make progress and you have success, then they see, hey, this guy is serious. Okay, let's try to help him.
That's amazing. And what was so you said like your routine was you wake up at 5, you'd shower, you'd have your breakfast. What is a typical breakfast for you, like, or a meal? Like how would you manage your nutrition with what you put in your body?
I bought a book of Dolce diet, and then he had a power bowl meal with oatmeals, fruits in it, and those kind of things, with honey and then warm water, and you mix it. And I still eat it every day. It's perfectly, man. It's perfectly balanced. It's enough nutrition to train hard, and not that much that you feel full. You know, sometimes when you eat too much, you were shit at training. So this was perfect for the morning routine. I still eat it to this day. It's perfect.
That's amazing. So oatmeal with fruit, honey, warm water. Do you ever put maybe like some Greek yogurts like for protein?
Yeah, I don't go good on milk products.
Okay.
So for fighter, milk products is not that productive because it slows you down. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. But in Holland it's difficult because we have nice cheese, and I like cheese.
I love cheese as well, man.
I love cheese.
I love cheese too. We have it in Canada too. Like I buy the shredded cheese for my meals. Oh, it's so good. It's tough. It's tough,
Cherry
Pieter.
Cake, man. Yeah, I know. Especially when you have to cut weight.
Yeah.
Because when I started my MMA career, I always thought, okay, I will fight Anderson Silva at middleweight. But I walked around 82 kilos, but all the fighters cut down from 92 to 82. And I never knew because in kickboxing, there was no weight cuts. And then I got introduced to weight cutting, and I was like, fuck. And then I fought 77 kilos, and I was still too light for them because I walk around 82, 83. And those people come from 88, 89, and they go to 77. And I was like, no, man, I had to cut to 70 kilos. And 70 kilos, I love it. I really love it.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. So you get your contract to go fight in ONE FC, but this was before people knew about ONE, because I think to me, ONE only really started to blow up in 2019 when Demetrius went there, and Eddie Alvarez went there. And when Eddie I think it's when Eddie got knocked out by Timofey Nasty Yukin, that's when people started paying attention.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I fought Timofey. He's a good guy. But yeah, man, it was awesome at ONE. I had an awesome time there. Let me say it like that.
You got to fight in different countries. What do you think makes ONE such a good organization in Asia? Like what separates them from the North American mixed martial arts?
It's a different kind of show. You know, it's a good. If ONE makes the mistake to be like Bellator or UFC, they will go bankrupt immediately, because you already have that. People are, if they want to watch MMA, they go to UFC or Bellator. But ONE gives a different kind of show. You know, the entrants are different, the build-up is different, the styles. So you have kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA especially, and sometimes grappling. So yeah, it's a different kind of show. You know, they are different than UFC and Bellator.
That is true, because with all the stuff they have going, they even wanted to add Lethway. Apparently, there was talks about them adding Lethway. If you remember David Leduc, the guy that he was on Rogan, and he said that he was in talks with Chaudhry and Victor to add Lethway, but it looks like it didn't happen. So
it's Lethway is difficult to sell, man. It's already difficult. When I remember my first fight I won, and I won on KO. Because I knocked the guy down, and then I grabbed his head on the ground, and I kneed 3 times on the ground. Bam, bam, fucking hard. And the next day when I was back, the mayor called me of my city, and he wanted to have a chit chat with me and congratulate me. And he saw the fight. He was like, "Yeah, man, it was brutal." I like, yeah, hey, I have to pay the bills, man.
Got to do what you got to do. Those bonuses, they help save towards the goals. And where did the name Archangel came from? Because that's like one of the most badass fighter names ever.
Thanks. Yeah, a fan of mine gave it to me because I'm a religious guy. I'm a Christian guy. And he's like, yeah, you're kicking ass and you're a Christian, so Archangel. I was like, no, I got a lot of nicknames thrown at me, the tornado, the dragon. I was like, what the fuck? It sounds like a bad 80 fighting movie, those kind of things. And then somebody said Archangel. I was like, okay, this thing. And then I got this sign like this, and everybody, and when I was fighting in Holland and in Europe, everybody, when I came up, everybody was like, yeah, Pieter, but Archangel. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
Awesome,
so I
man.
stick with it. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I love the name. It's so cool. When I saw your profile, I was like he likes anime too, and that's
of course.
Like, I love the post you have. Like, you put like Dragon Ball Z, you put a mix of other animes, and it's just like you have one of the best pages. I don't know how you're not verified yet. What's going on with that?
Haters gonna hate, man. I don't know why, but I really don't know why. I know people who are less famous than me are verified. It's maybe sometimes I can be political incorrect. Let me say it like this.
Bro, you're like a hero for all like the otaku, all the wabu. What's the term for those who love anime? It's wabu, I think, or
I think wabu, yeah.
Yeah, like you're the hero for them. Like, they have to verify you. So we got to find a way.
Yeah.
We got to find a way. Like, me, you, and Nima have to find a way to market you better to like the otaku-thon. So then that way, all those who are picked on because they like the anime get into martial arts, and then they become pro fighters. And then you're a trendsetter. You see, this is when great minds come together.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit the anti-hero of that, because I go with the flow, but when the flow doesn't, it comes to irritate me, I go that way.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Sometimes I post something and sometimes people, Pieter, you're a famous guy, so I didn't think it's wise to post it. Then sometimes I screenshot a picture of myself like this, and then I only send them the picture with the middle finger, and they're like, "Hey, you don't have to be offended. I don't give a fuck about you, man. I post whatever the fuck I want."
Exactly. You gotta do you. You gotta do you, man.
I am me. I am me, and I do me. Trust me. If I have something to say, I will say it. And I don't give a fuck if it's 200 likes or 1 like or dislikes. I don't give a fuck. It's my page. Block me.
So you also, now because you've been fighting with one, you also train with the current middleweight champion and one, Randy. I'm gonna butcher
2 times.
2 times.
The double champ.
Oh,
it's the light heavyweight and the middleweight champion.
Right. It's I always Randy. That's his name.
Rainier.
Yeah, Rainier. Yeah. I'm very bad with pronouncing certain names. I'm
Dutch
really
names
sorry.
No problem.
I'm so sorry. So when you train with Rainier, like, what's that relationship? How has that relationship made you the fighter? How has that relationship helped you improve as a fighter and person in and out of the gym?
He and Haroon. Haroon is his companion and my trainer also. They made me the best version of myself. They really picked me up from where I was and make me a top elite fighter. They see everything. No, they are very professionally. They're like family, man. I'm blessed to have those kind of people around.
That's amazing. So like they really keep you grounded and they help you.
Yes. In our gym, it's like when I won the WFL world title, it was on Sunday, and on Monday, Sunday we were partying, and after the party they're like, okay, I see you tomorrow. And Monday I was in the gym training again. It's when Rani became world champion at one. It was on Friday. Sunday he was back, so Sunday was rest day, and Monday he was in the gym. It's normal at our gym, you know. The day of the fight you celebrate or you mourn, and then on Monday it's back to business.
So would you say it's kind of like that David Goggins David Goggins type mentality where it's like, hey, it's like, don't rest on your laurels, like don't use the 40%, you got to be 100%, 110%.
Yeah, because you have a big target on your back, especially when you're winning, especially where at the level that we are, everybody wants to kill you because everyone wants to make a name of your back. So you always have to stay ready. And it's the same thing like a job. If you have a good day at your job, you can say to your trainer, hey, let's do your boss, hey man, today was so awesome, I kicked ass, I see you in 2 weeks. Boss like, shut the fuck up, I see you Monday, man. So it's the same thing, you have to improve. Fighting is like life, you're never done. When you think you're awesome, somebody is always better, so you can't stand still.
Yeah, it's so true, man. I really definitely agree with that. And also because, and then let's take it back to when you had Gegard hand the belt to you, and that was a surreal moment. And then Gegard has also become a friend of yours because you were at his last championship celebration dinner where he starched. Like he fought, like it's like, you ever watched the Dave Chappelle skit where it's like where he's like a black George W. Bush, and it's like, I guess you better shut the fuck up, because people are like, Austin Vanderford.
The fuck up.
Austin Vanderford is gonna give Gegard a hard time, and I was like, guys, you need to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
But that's a how do you say it? A good thing and a bad thing of Gegard. The bad thing is everybody knows who he is, but he's not that famous as you think he would be if he, at the level that he is.
I know.
But the good thing is everybody's looking over him. Everybody forgets he is, trust me, he is pound for pound in the top 3.
I agree. Maybe top 2 when it's all said and done. If we take, because the dumbest argument I hear, well, he's not in the UFC. It doesn't matter. You have to be pro fighter, because
when he was in the UFC, he was kicking ass.
He was on a 5-fight win streak. And you know what? I'm pretty sure Michael Bisping is really happy he did not face Gegard and Mousasi. And here's another thing you should know too that not many people know. When Daniel Cormier was supposed to fight Rumble for their second time, DC got injured. They wanted to do an interim light heavyweight with Gegard versus Rumble, and Rumble rejected it. What does that tell you? What does that tell you, man?
Yeah, man, Gegard is, but he doesn't give a shit about that.
No,
he just wants to fight, get paid, and leave him alone. That's Gegard. He doesn't give a fuck about it. Trust me, when he quits fighting, you will never hear again nothing. He's financially set. He has his infestations. He doesn't give a rat's ass about fame.
No,
it suits him.
Do you think he'll become a coach though? Maybe like after fighting.
He doesn't have to. Trust me, he has his investment set. He's smarter than a lot of people think, man. He's a big example for me and Rainy. We truly watch it. Everybody in the gym, not only at fighting, but investing, mindset, how he is. No, when he walks in the gym, he's the best fighter in the world, but he walks in like, comes on his flip-flops. Hey guys, let's train. Buck.
And he's got, comes from a very good background too. Like very his story, like, man, like his story's out of a movie, like born in Iran. Because what I identify with him is that I'm half Iranian. My dad was born in Tehran, like Gegard, and then Gegard left Iran to come to the Netherlands, and it's like it's a true immigrant success story, like what he's done.
Yeah, I thought that my bio was rough, but his brother sometimes talks about it, but it was rough, man. For me, I was homeless, but he was
get out
literally from a war. I was like, shit, my life was easy compared to, because they came with nothing. Police were shooting at them, and they came here and tried to make the best of it.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I love how tight knit the community is, even though you're in a different gym. And I think that just goes to show that how important it is that the Dutch martial arts, that we're all that you guys work together to raise the bar. So that way you can stand with the Americas, you can stand with the Brazils, you can stand with the Canadas. I love what you guys do in the Holland. Like, and that's why, like, I'm such a, even though I'm Canadian at heart, I'd say I'm a bit Dutch too, because I just love what Holland's given the world. Like they gave us in history. Look at Holland; they were the best traders in the pre-modern times. They gave us Dutch kickboxing. They gave us trance music. They gave us a whole lot of other things that, I mean, I can't name, but those are the three things I can think of right now.
Legalize drugs.
That too. Yeah, that too. I mean, like, I'm not against drugs at all, because, like, obviously, marijuana, like, I don't smoke it, but my late father, before he passed away, was taking medical weed for his appetite. And I'm a very big proponent of not legalizing everything. Like, I don't think we should legalize heroin or cocaine, but we could decriminalize it. That's where I draw the line. But
for marijuana, same thing. I don't smoke it, but I use CBD. It's perfectly, man. It's naturally so.
That's
so
awesome.
Why not? So why not? If it ain't Dutch, it ain't much, we say.
I love that expression. So what's the plan now? Because your last fight was in November of 2021. Taking a bit of a break from what I see, enjoying life because of, like, you're probably the busy last 2 years. So what's next for you, Pieter?
To be honest, I can't say much because but I'm sitting still, and it's not my and Nima's how do you say, or can I say it normally, fault.
It's okay,
because my contract ended with one, and if you followed my page sooner, you would remember I post something that I signed with somebody else, and then something happened. I can't talk about it, so I had to wait so that I can sign again with somebody else and fight. It starts with a B, and so yeah. I wanted to say, but if Nimas sees this, he will kill me.
No, I don't want. I want to keep. I don't want to get you into trouble. I respect. Like, I love Nima, but, like, there's certain things that, like, I don't even want to, like that, like, I can't. So we're in the same boat.
We are talking about we try to how do we say it? We are waiting.
That's fine.
Waiting and talking, and a lot of talking. And then I think next week, if I have some more, if I, because somebody, I can say, who promised me that there will be news next week. So when I have news, I will send you first, and then maybe we can do a podcast again.
Hey, dude, I love that. The door is always open to listen. I keep my door open to everybody. Okay. Because the most important thing that I don't care who you're with. If I want to talk to you, I'm going to find a way to talk to you. So I keep an open door, but I'm going to sound a bit biased here. The Moments team, the guys who are under Moments and under Cops and your gym, they have a special place in my heart already, because the fact that they took time out of their day or their days to come on and speak with like an up and comer like me, that means the world to me. And that's where like I have a special place. And
And normally I do nothing on Sunday, so.
Wow, that says something. That I really appreciate that. It was when you said yes, I'm being serious. Like I literally like texted 3 of my friends. I was like, yo guys, I got another pro fighter on my coming on my show. It's coming on. And so it's good, man. But I think, you know what the most important thing is to I'm just going to say from my experience, like, because people ask me, they're like, how do you do it? And I say, you have to really take an interest in it. Like I said, you don't want to be talking on a Sunday. So Peter, tell me about the time you fought at like ONE FC. Like, no, you want someone that has that fire, that has that love, and that's like smiling, showing engagement. You got to love what you do. If you're just doing this for money, I'm going to say, get the fuck out. Don't waste your time with me. I'm not going to waste my time with you. I don't want to hear it of how you're saying you're going to, or people say, oh, I don't have the latest equipment. I'm using like a $40 microphone with a $30 boom arm. You don't have to be Rogan.
It's about the motion in the ocean, they say.
Exactly.
It's not about the size. It's about the motion in the ocean. You have to work with what you have, man.
Exactly. I know people that have like a 10-year-old laptop, like, or 15-year-old laptop, and they're still making it work.
When you're at the top, you appreciate more. When I started with MMA, like I said, I was homeless for a couple of for a long time. So I really started build myself up from the bottom. And sometimes when we're in the gym, Rani and we fight on the biggest stage in the world, and the new generation want to also, yeah, man, I want to fight there. And we're like, no, you really have to fight first at the bottom gyms, bottom events, where 50 people throwing beer at you, are drunk, screaming, twist his dick, to the dick.
Yeah, I saw that at the BJJ event. Oh, that fucking why? It's fucking wild, man. That's what I love about MMA.
But you need that, man. You need to when Gay got fought. Van der Voort, what is his name?
Van der Voort, yeah.
I went
or Mr. Van Zandt.
Mr. Van Zandt. I went with my girlfriend to Dublin to watch it.
Wow.
And I had a good meeting there. So, so then you see this is the big league, especially Oak at ONE. When I went from becoming world champion once again in WFL and to ONE, my first fight was in Bangkok. It was 15,000 people. I was like, what the fuck? Screaming, lights everywhere, fireworks. It was, wow, this is the big stage, man.
Awesome. That's amazing.
But you only can appreciate those kind of things if you have started from the bottom. If you meet some fighters, they immediately started at the top. You won't appreciate. It's normal for you. It has to be special every time you come there.
Whether it's fighting or podcasting, you have to start from the bottom. And that's where like I always tell people, like, interview the up and comers. If you get a big name on early, great. Don't rest on it. Like, you got to keep coming back. And that's what I do. So
you never know. If an up and coming blows up, you will remember you. Hey, that's the guy who was interested in me. I will give him prime time. I will give him the scoops. I will give him those kind of things. If somebody only wants, I have a lot of people asking me for podcasts and interviews. Last couple of years, I said more no than yes. In the beginning, I was like, yeah. Now I'm more picky. Okay, this one is. I looked at your page. This one is a true fan of the sport. Okay, I will do it. Oh, he loves MMA. Man. Okay, now I will do it.
I'm super honored, man. Well, thank you. I love the sport. I love what it's given me. I mean, when people ask me, how did you get into martial arts? So I used to follow it there, like in 2005. So remember, this is when I'm still into my anime phase, but I'm getting into other interests like ice hockey and some other stuff. Obviously, it was the Chuck Liddell era when Chuck was on top. George was just become champion. So Anderson was coming into. That's when I kind of like loosely followed it. Then when John Jones became champion, I kind of said, okay, I'm a John Jones fan because like I saw a few clips in 2011, 2012. But I really became a fan. And I always say the story and I'm never going to forget it. So it was in 2015. So I always feel like when the year of the 5, hits the round, it's like something changes in me, like with an interest. So in 2005, it was from anime to like ice hockey and like team sports. And then 2015, I went from team sports to MMA. So I was in San Jose, California, watching John Jones fight Daniel Cormier the first time they fought. So that was the first time I really started to get into it, because I was going through a lot. My dad had passed away and I was with his family. So just to get away from it. So I was there. Then 3 weeks later, it was the Gustafsson Rumble fight, and Gegard fought Henderson. And when Gegard fought Henderson, I was like, and the way he starts down, I was like, okay, I said, I'm starting to get curious about joining martial arts. So I was like experimenting with a few like kickboxing gyms, boxing gyms at the time. Then it was after what got me hooked was the Lawler versus McDonald 2 fight. And I was like, and that's when I said after, okay, I'm taking up martial arts.
That was the most brutal fight ever, especially when they both their faces was destroyed, and the ref has to pull them aside because they were standing in front of each other, spitting blood out of his mouth. One lip was open, the nose was busted.
My wallpaper. My wallpaper is Lawler with like just going, and you see the ripped up lip. That's my wallpaper. It's pretty menacing.
That was for me also a good sign what a true champion is, because Robbie Lawler was 35 at that. It was done. Everybody was like, no, you will never become champion. Same as Oliveira, same as Bisping, same as Teixeira, same as Blachowicz. For me, those kind of guys are the champions. Khabib is awesome. He's one of a kind, but for me, he's not a real champion, because a real champion has to have those setbacks. Like I posted today of Charles Oliveira. He was 10-8 in the UFC. No, nobody would say he will be champion. Now he's a force to be reckoned with. As Blachowicz became champion, nobody. Okay, of course, John Jones wasn't there, but Teixeira at 43 years old became champion. Bisping, that was when I see the documentary. Wow, I was like, man, this guy, he lost his eye, knees fucked up, hips broken, back broke, arms broken, and then he became champion. Man, that's for me, that's a champion, real champion. John Jones is a pound for pound best fighter, but a real champion needs to have those setbacks and come back stronger. And when Robbie Lawler at that time, everybody was scared, especially when he did the interview when Conor, Conor said, I want to fight Robbie Lawler, and Robbie Lawler was like, I will take his soul. And everybody was like, shit, this guy is meaning it. I don't know how. He's a Ghostbuster or something, but he will take his soul. He is fucking vicious. He was going, if Conor would fought Robbie Lawler at that time, Robbie Lawler will kill him.
Oh my God! It would have been a first degree murder. That's how bad it would have been. That would have been.
Police would be involved with that fight. Trust me. He will kill him. He will kill him. That's because at some point a fighter comes on a road that he chooses to quit or become utterly next level. And Robbie Lawler choose to be utterly next level, and then the best came out of him, because he was also always a decent fighter, but now he was a controlled, aggressive, decent champion. He wasn't a fighter. He was on another level. When he fought Tyron Woodley, then it was time to quit for him. But but he at that time with Robbie Lawler and Michael McDonald, what the fuck? Every fighter was scared at that moment.
Oh man, he was ruthless, man. He's my influence.
I read an article that Rory McDonald had to pay around $60,000 for a face reconstruction of plastic surgery. Nose was busted, eyes socket busted. So almost half of his purse went to facial surgery. It was not normal, man.
No, it's not normal. Fuck that. Those old school guys. But anyways, man, I just got to say, I guess we'll conclude it here with the saying.
Awesome.
It's not about how big it is. It's about how the motion is, as you say, and also
ocean.
start from the bottom and work your way up.
Man. Yeah, man. Never give up.
Never give up. Where can people connect with you if they want to ever follow you in your journey?
They can call me on my on my Instagram. I'm not that fond of Twitter and Facebook because a lot of idiots on Instagram. There are also a lot of idiots, but it's different. So Instagram is my main page.
Cool.
Instagram, I'm always try to up to date daily and once in a while. Normally I posted every day something, but now because I was working on myself, had some meetings with Nima and organizations. So I was a little bit not active, but on my storyline, I'm always active. Yeah. If it's political, it's training. I'm training every day. So when I don't forget to post something, I will post something. Nice. So Instagram, pietrbuist, just follow me. 9 out of 10 times I will follow back.
That's good, man.
I'm not that kind of fighter. I'm famous. I won't follow back. I don't give a fuck, man. I follow back.
Well, you're a fan of the Piet. You're a champion of the people. Peter, I really want to thank you for taking time out of your Sunday, which you didn't have to do. I really, really had a fun time doing this. And the fact that you said you want to come on again, the door is always open. You just message me when you want to come on. We'll make it happen. And if you even want to bring Nima on, like where we can do like a three-way episode where like we can really help get moments out there, like in terms of globally. I mean, I'd love to do that. I love finding ways to help everybody succeed together.
I always try to make time for my fellow nerds. So.
I love that. All right, so everyone, make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe button. It's on all audio platforms. YouTube, please. If you love anime and you're a fellow nerd, make sure to follow this guy. This guy's your anti-hero in a good way. It's a good way, so follow him.
And if not, fuck you.
Thanks for coming on, Peter.
Thank you. No problem. God bless.